I love it when a half-assed, poorly executed plan comes together. G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring. Today, I don't really know what I'm doing. The weather's terrible. It absolutely bucketed down on the way out here. I'm not going to tell you exactly where here is. To give you a clue, I'm somewhere between Lancelin and Geraldton, along the coast just north of Perth. Today's mission was really to find some new ground. So what I've done is I jumped on satellite maps last night and I've dropped a few pins in some places that I thought looked interesting, just looking for points of interest like hills and bays and coves and that kind of thing. And I've sort of found a few spots. I've come out this morning after school drop off and we're going to check them out. The weather is terrible, so I need to find somewhere fairly sheltered. I'm by myself, it's just an overnighter. I've got enough beer and food and water and firewood for the one night. But I just wanted to see if I could find somewhere fairly close to home for these kind of overnight trips. So the bugs are pretty friendly, and I'm going to put this camera gear away before it gets wet, but I'm going to air down the tyres quickly. We're going to keep bombing up this track, which has been really tame so far, but there's a patch of sand just ahead, so air down, have a poke around, hopefully find somewhere nice, take you guys with me, cook up a mean feed, maybe do some fishing, all around good times. Oh, and this will probably be the last trip that I do with this old canopy on, so that's pretty cool. So trying to find a spot like this, just working off satellite images, you always run the risk of potentially hitting, like a farmer's gate or a water core, no access sign or something like that. So there's a very real chance that I'll be dropping tyre pressures, pumping up several times, having to duck back onto the road. But that's just the way it is. I'm quite happy to spend most of the day in the car today, just sort of driving around trying to find these spots because the weather is pretty crappy anyway. Let's park up and have a look. I won't drive onto the beach yet. Oh, there's a bit of weed. Calm though. Considering the weather, that's beautiful and calm. Let's have a look. This was the spot I was thinking of. And you can see why. It's nice and protected from one side. I thought some fishing off the rocks. I think we'll keep exploring. This would be a really nice spot, but with all the weed, I think I'll try it another day in a few months' time. The weed comes and goes, but it's a promising spot. It's perfect for a couple of cars. Good start. I'm going to head a little bit further south, that next sort of rocky outcrop. Looks promising. Beautiful spot. Be a lot easier just to stick the drone up in the sky and have a look around and see if I can find a camp that way, because it's got like a 5 or so K range, but it's a brand newie and it's been drizzling pretty much non-stop. It's only light, but I don't want to stick my brand new drone up in the rain. A bit soft like that. I don't know if you can see from here, but on the top of that stick there's a big eagle, decent sized one anyway. I wonder if my phone's got a better zoom. So impressed. This is the new iPhone 12. I'm seriously impressed with what it can do, eh? Such a shame it's weedy, because this would be a cracking beach on a good day. But I can see a bay down there with no weed on it. Bomb down this weedy beach, see if we can hit that bay. But I think we might have to come back out on the tracks again. So weedy. I'll have to duck out. Oh, each spot's getting better and better. Good little campsite, campfire there. There's some schools of something moving around in there already, so little bait fish schools, nothing big. But maybe that'll bring in big fish, hopefully. I don't really care. It'd be nice just to get something though for a feed. Didn't bring any lunch, haven't had brekkie, and I'm obviously going to waste away if I don't eat, so I'll give it a crack. Anywho, I've got a bang lunch in the oven, and I think I've lost this track, so I'm going to put the camera down, and I'll see you back at this camp. So awning out first. They're expecting a fair bit of rain this arvo and a thunderstorm, so awning out, and it's one of the only times I've ever bothered dropping all the poles and putting some guy ropes out, or ratchet straps, because that's what I had. But yeah, they are saying it's going to be quite stormy, so rather do it now while I'm nice and dry, and I'll just have a small fire tonight. I'm burning jarrah so it doesn't burn too big. And I'll get away with that underneath the awning, I reckon. Even if it starts raining, I'll just drag it in. And then swag down here. Head in the high spot. I'll set that up a little bit later, just so I've got a bit of room to cook and stuff. Anyway, I banged dinner on. That's going to take a few hours. So Travel Buddy is already on and preheating. And I've got one of these, it's already pre-cooked. Beef brisket from Woolies. Comes with a little sachet of barbecue sauce. They're really good, so I'm going to have that sliced in some nice brioche buns with a little bit of high melt cheese and a bit of Kewpie. So that's dinner. That'll be really nice. Like I said, it's already cooked, and I think it's been cooked over smoke. Yeah, it has wood smoked, slow cooked for 10 hours. So that's kind of like what I do at home, but it's already pre-cooked for me. So I'm just going to basically reheat it for about 2 hours in the oven, and that'll be an early dinner. I am thinking, actually, because this Travel Buddy is capable of some really low temperatures, I think I'm going to buy a raw brisket from the butcher, and I'm going to try slow cook one in this Travel Buddy one time. And I've got a bit of an idea about how I can get some smoky flavour through it too, and I can do the entire thing at camp. So I'm going to try that probably next sort of bigger trip I do. But this is tea tonight, and it should be really nice. Hot. Whoa. Preheat, like if you've got a Travel Buddy oven, you know that they take quite a while to preheat. People are getting around that if the car's not running, that is. And the reason is that they're a 12-volt oven. They're more efficient at higher voltages, so while you're driving and it's getting like 14.4 volts or whatever off your alternator, it runs quite efficiently, and it gets hot quick and all the rest of it. When you're stationary and you're running off your lead acid batteries, your batteries dip down to 12.5 volts or whatever, you lose a bit of efficiency. It takes longer to heat up and whatnot. With lithium batteries, their resting voltage, like mine right now, well, it's not even resting voltage, it's under load, is 13.2 volts. So I find this preheats pretty quickly. But some people are getting around that with lead acid batteries by running like voltage step-up converters. So they convert your 12 volts into 14 volts or whatever you set it to, which is one way around it. Now with these things, this is like an oven-proof bag. Where's my knife? I've been trialing some new merchandise. There's a nice little knife there. Yeah, so you can actually cook this in the bag, but you do need to pierce it in a couple of spots so it doesn't explode on you. So that'll do. Sauce and go away. Do you know what? I don't think I brought any plates or anything. I'm so unorganised this trip. Because I started actually gutting this canopy. I'm ready for the new one. Like I said, this is probably the last trip I do with this canopy. And this trip was a real impromptu sort of last minute one. So I pulled a lot of stuff out already. And I had to put quite a few things back in just for this short overnighter. And I've forgotten so much stuff. But we'll make do. It's only one night. So we're not going to starve. I don't even have a bin. I'm drinking water out of a tub. I don't know. Wherever you're camping on the coast, you've always got to know where your sanctuary zones are, your no fishing zones. There is one around this area that I'm aware of. So just to play it safe, I'm going to cut around these rocks and fish on the other side of them just so that I know I'm definitely well out of that sanctuary zone, because the last thing you want is a big fine. And look, I'm unlikely to get one, but still, you got to do the right thing. Feeling confident. There's one hungry herring. Grab the big 30 gram slice. Yeah, we'll have him. Another good size herring. Not often I'll get them on lures. Just the two, but that's cool. That'll be breakfast tomorrow. Get back to camp, fill them up and bang them in the fridge. You know those herring frames I threw in the water before? There's a big ray coming to eat them. Let's go have a look. Big ray. Beautiful, hey? leave him be. He wants to come back in, have another look, I think. I did something mega stupid. I just flew out to these islands out there in the horizon. You probably can't see them on the GoPro. And they were far further than I thought they would be. And my drone started beeping at me saying it's getting low, so I turned around. No. No.
Critically low battery.
It's landing. I'm gonna lose this thing 500 meters out. I'm so close.
Critically low battery.
Oh my God. Well, I managed to get it to shore, but I don't know where it is. I think it's over that next point. I better go find it. I better take this with me.
Critically low battery.
That was such a rookie mistake. I think what happened was the wind was behind me flying out there, and on return, wind was against me, so I didn't have the juice to get home. I was so lucky to make it even back to the beach. I should know better than that. That's like probably the 4th or 5th time I've flown this drone, and I've crashed quite a few before, so I should know better. Luckily the camera stays on, so you hope you see yourself running past it. See, they are pretty idiot-proof drones. Just proven that, I think. Real clever technology. Instead of just like letting you fly it till 0% and then just falling into the water or crashing into the ground, gives you plenty of notice, which you should listen to, and then slowly lowers itself and lands pretty carefully. So no harm done. Let's get back to the fire. It's pretty cold. That should be done now. Let's have a look. Like I said, I haven't got any of my stuff here, so I don't even have a dishcloth or anything. Whoa, that's hot. Wild Touring hats, multiple purposes. Get yours, wildtouring.com.au. Oh my lord, that smells good. Safe to say it's pretty hot. Oh yeah. Smells unreal. So Woolies do a few of these meals. They do a pork shoulder, they do a butterfly beef, they do this brisket. I think there's a couple more too. Perfect for the travel buddy. This was cooking for about 2 hours, and then it was just switched off and left in there for another hour or so. Brioche buns. I didn't bring forks, tongs, anything. Proper caveman style. Lucky I got these bloody Tupperware containers. Don't even have plates. Oh, so good. High melt cheese, burger cheese, whatever. Kewpie. I need a drink. Now I normally keg beer at home, but whenever I'm filling a keg and there's a little bit left of homebrew, that is, I just bottle it in whatever bottles I've got. So this isn't ginger beer, it's what is it, a 3.5% draft beer. This would have been something I was brewing for the Thunderfab boys. I put some beer on tap for the fabricators that are making my canopy. Beer on tap in their workshop, they're loving that, they're smashing it. I'm just about a full-time brewer trying to keep up with the boys. Here we go. So good. That was worth the wait. Woken up to blue skies this morning. I slept so well last night. Just listening to the ocean, the waves crash, just puts me to sleep. Every night I can get under canvas is a good one. The storm did roll through last night, probably about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Lots of thunder, lightning, rained on and off most of the night, but it was quite heavy while the storm was on top of me. But obviously no water into the swag because of the awning and whatnot. And then the awning this morning, there's not too much water pulled on top because of the way I put the guy ropes out. There was a little bit just here, so probably should have pulled that rope a bit tighter. It's too loose. But yeah, these were the views waking up. Pretty nice. I like just watching that through here while you're in bed. It's beautiful. Anyway, coffee, breakfast, slow pack down and a slow roll out. This is so annoying. I need to dig like a little trench just so I can stand up. I'm still drinking those, the beans you would have seen me drinking on our big lap at WA. The TNG blend by Espresso Tenango. He'll ship them all over Australia. So I've been getting them sent to us at home. And I've just seen, the grinder came from him too, and I've just seen that he started selling mocha pots. So if you've never had good camp coffee and you want to, you can buy everything you need from him. This is an induction one because I'm moving to an induction cooker. This is a portable one today, but in my new canopy I'll have one built in. I'm just trying to get used to cooking on induction. But I don't know if Jason at Espresso Tango sells the induction ones yet, but he certainly sells the aluminium ones that you'd have seen me using in the past, which is what I use at home. They're a Bioletta mocha pot. I use a 3 cup, and this is the smaller of the 2 grinders. It's good gear. One thing I've noticed experimenting with the induction cooker, it's really hard to get the temperature right. I must say I much prefer cooking on gas at the moment. So I don't know if induction cooking is going to be for me or not yet. I just find the temperature control is all over the place. It might be... what's happening? Why isn't my inverter working? 200 amp MIDI fuse just melted and blown to bits, so this is why you fuse stuff, because these lithium batteries can discharge really quickly. Although they're super clever. These are all-spark lithium batteries by Off-Road Living, and if you do dead short them, then the BMS trips on the battery, so it's very unlikely that you're going to actually start a fire or anything with these batteries. Much safer than your traditional lead acid like AGM batteries, which have none of that that sort of technology in them. People sort of use fuses and stuff to do the same thing, but you've got double protection with lithium. You fuse everything you run off it anyway, and you've got the BMS to stop it from a dead short, reverse polarity, any of that, so real clever. Anywho, induction cooker is not going to happen, so let's bang that away. I'm still having coffee, I'm not going without a coffee. So I'll get my little fire pit out again, and I burned all my wood last night watching YouTube videos. Actually, that's sad, isn't it? Sitting around the fire, I was watching a bit of YouTube, just catching up, listening to the waves in the background, having a few beers, and before I knew it, I'd burnt through a whole bag of wood, which I don't normally on that little fire pit. But let's see if we can scrounge some wood. Just realised I was gonna bloody use the milk frother. I can't even do that. So before I cook my fish, I'm gonna heat my milk in the fry pan. I want coffee this morning. I'm not settling without it. All you fellas that always comment, why don't you just have Moccona? It's easier. You know what? Today you're right, but normally I want good coffee. Well, this is an unorthodox way of doing things, but if it works, I'm happy. Just about there. I was really looking forward to a frothy coffee because I got this new shaker. It's got a lid so it can actually live in my box. Anyway, bit of an effort, but we got there in the end. And it's a really good coffee still. Oh, you know, I didn't quite know if that was going to turn out, but it is good. Lettuce. Kewpie. I always do this, I get excited, I go too big. Well, I think it's fair to say that was a disaster from go to woe. My inverter shit itself, yeah, thunderstorm rolled through and then breakfast was just absolute chaos. But you know what? Every single night I spend under canvas is a good night. I've had a great time, and I love bringing you guys along with me. And I like to show you this stuff, warts and all. It's not all Instagram filters. In fact, none of it is, because I don't know how to do that, if that's even a thing. And hey guys, if you enjoy this kind of thing and you want to support the channel, there's obviously, I've got stuff like Patreon going on where you can get extra content and some free merchandise. Alternatively, you can buy merchandise if you want from our website, wildtouring.com.au. Or if you're not in a position to do that and you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. One thing that you could do for me and for any of your favorite YouTubers is simply just let the ads roll through. We earn a little bit of money if you let them play through. So if you can be bothered doing that, that really helps. That's something that I do for a lot of my favorite YouTubers. Anyway, food for thought, or you can just do none of it and just watch free content, and I'm still happy for that as well. So cheers guys. That's a wrap. The camera is not waterproof.